No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Malibu is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends, or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. This poem kept Walter anchored when he was losing his humanity, when his ability to discern between right and wrong was slipping in favor of survival, awaiting Charlie's inevitable assault on Hill 365. These words remind Walter that regardless of which side of the hill you are on, whether you're fighting for agrarian reform and communal ownership of the means of production, or to assure and solidify American industry abroad, that for those fleeting moments when smoke and the concussion of rifle muzzles make an academic argument a reality, the human spectacle is both enormous and fragile. Recently, Walter and Donny were pondering this very phenomenon across the former domain of Tom Brady when nature called and Walter was forced to locate a bathroom in the city of Dover, New Hampshire. Walter happened to walk into a nondescript industrial park and asked none other than Jay Pelletier from Q. After Walter relieved himself, Jay offered to show Donny and Walter around the office. Much to Walter's dismay, Q were up to some pretty interesting things when it came to bowling rifles, specifically ones with short barrels and fast twists. Along the way, Jay explained Q's approach to design and manufacturing, and Walter and Donny pocketed enough parts to throw together a 12-inch 8.6 Blackout fix and an iconic SD Honeybadger in 300 Blackout. Over a few of Dunkin' Donuts' finest cold brews, Walter and Donny assembled their rifles with some help from Jay and Ethan. Most companies drive down the road with the windshield blacked out and navigate by watching the rear-view mirrors. They react to the wants of bowlers and movements of the market, but they are always on the verge of running off the road. Q is one of the few places that's thinking years down the line, developing new capabilities, and anticipating where the road is going. This path often draws a lot of flack from the krauts down at the league office. Like Walter, their fearless leader, Kevin Brettingham, is not wrong. He's just often an asshole. To Walter, bowling rifles are tools. Sometimes you need a hammer. Sometimes you need a torque wrench. And sometimes you need a brushless reciprocating saw with a 3/8-inch chuck, a silicone fist attachment, and a 30-foot extension cord. Walter's rambling again. Where was he? Q makes tools that no one else is making from a capability and weight perspective. Walter is interested in packing as much punch as possible into the smallest and lightest package for hunting. The beauty of this 8.6 is in the simplicity of the faster twist rate, which translates to more energy and expansion on target. Based on the rules of aerodynamics, rotational energy, in the form of bullets, is retained at rates far higher than those of linear velocity. This higher RPM helps dramatically with bullet expansion. While validating this in ballistic gel is imperfect, it's a start, and the results are pretty damn impressive. This fall, when Walter heads to the mountains in search of horned ungulates, you bet your ass he's going to bring his 8.6 fix with some 200-grain projectiles from Discreet Ballistics. Donny's choice of spending his earnings from selling bumper stickers on a Honeybadger SD might surprise some. Much has been written and said about this rifle, and these days its innovative features have been so widely disseminated throughout the bowling industry that making a case for it is like explaining the tenets of credence to a child whose only points of reference are the Eagles and America. It's easy to lose track of the beauty of the original in a sea of imitators. Our society tends to regard as a sickness any mode of thought or behavior that is inconvenient for the system. And this is plausible because when an individual doesn't fit into the system, it causes pain to the individual as well as problems for the system. Thus, the manipulation of an individual to adjust him to the system is seen as a cure for a sickness and therefore as good. A fellow Polack and resident of a cabin similar to the shack Walter and Donny slunk from said this in a series of essays published in the New York Times and the Washington Post. Throughout the noise of postmodern thinkers and writers, this concept has stuck with Walter. And in idle moments, jamming a mag or starting a fire, Walter ponders it. Are Walter and Donny sick? Or is it the society around them? If you will it is no dream. Theodore Herzl.